everybody, and welcome to the return of the AFV Factory YouTube channel. So the last post I did was probably around about a year ago, and that was showing the trumpeter JS7 or IS7, whichever you prefer, and I just retextured the turret and the main hull with Mr. Surfacer 500, and that was the last video that I did. I was wanting, I know part of me wanted to carry on, but I was just a bit subconscious that my videos weren't very good, and you know, I wasn't coming across very well, and it kind of it was enough to make me stop doing them. But I've been thinking about them again recently, and I wanted to restart them. So what I'm hoping to do is they'll fill a gap in my other posts online, so that this will show what I'm doing or how I'm doing things, as opposed to the photographs that I post, which are either before or after. So yeah, so I thought a good place to start would be to show you the JS7 now, and you can see it in its completed state. So here it is, the finished JS7 trumpeter kit, and it was a really nice kit to build. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd been wanting to get one for a while, and was really pleased that I did. It's a fairly low parts kit, there's not an awful lot to it, but it goes together really well. There's no sort of fit issues or anything like that. The tracks are Lincoln length, and again, they were very easy to do, so it was a really enjoyable kit. Yeah, so I didn't take a long time building it. As I said, I did a bit of cosmetic changes here and there, and then I just got on with the weathering, just to make it look a bit more grimy and make it look as if it had actually been a tank that had been used, whereas the reality was obviously it never saw any action. And then this is the last, I believe, the last of the JS or IS range, because the tank afterwards, which was initially going to be named the JS7, sorry, JS8, then became the T10 when Joseph Stalin died. So yeah, so that's where I am with that. That's a bit of a catch up from anyone that watched the last video that I did, and I'll now give you a little insight into what I'm doing at the moment and what will be coming in the future. So here's the Amusing Hobbies Low. It's a kit that I'm building, or I chose to build for a group build on Facebook, and again, something that I wanted to do for a while, and just decided I'd get it for that reason. And it's a really nice kit. Again, low parts count, so there's not a lot of building going on there, with the exception of the tracks. They're a bit dire, but you know, this is a older kit from Amusing Hobby, and the tracks they're using nowadays on their kits are much better from what I understand. So yeah, as you can see, I've retextured the whole sides, as they were completely smooth, and I just wanted to have a bit more texture in there, whereas the turret, which cast turret, already has quite nice texture on it from the scratch, so I didn't do anything else with that. Obviously the steel plates here are not they're rolled steel, so they're not cast. That's what I'm trying to say. Whereas the turret is cast, the sides are not, so the texture is less and more subtle than you see on the turret. It's not, yeah, so it is a good kit. It came with a metal barrel. I'm toying around with ideas of what colours I'm going to spray it up as, and if I'm going to add on stuff to make it a functioning deployed tank rather than a prototype, which is obviously, the reality of never even got off the drawing board. But yeah, I'll think of something hopefully pleasing, hence why I've left all the hatches and everything off in case I decide to change the colours on those against what the main colours are. I've also got some turret baskets, a couple from a T72 and a box from a Tiger One, and I'm just going to jiggle around and sort those out so that I can get those on there. Again, leaning towards a tank that's been deployed, and you know, things that have suddenly come up where the crew needs stowage bins, etc, etc. So yeah, that's there, and I'm sort of working on that quite quickly. The tracks are here, and they look really good. They've got some excellent texture, everything on there. It is just that they are fiddly to assemble, and as I found out, they're supposed to be workable, but I'm not able to get the right amount of glue on there to make them stay together and remain workable. So I'm just going to glue them all together and essentially build my own link and length tracks. So yeah, I need to crack on with those, and then I can get this low and get some paint on it. So that's that. The other thing that's going on at a much slower speed is this Tacom M247 Sergeant York. It's a really good kit, a lot more not complicated, but a lot more going on, a lot more parts than I found on the low. But that's not a criticism. It's not caused me any problems at all. Again, some really nice cast texture. On the hull there, turrets coming together nicely. There are a lot of, as you can see with all the dots and holes, lots and lots of little bits to go onto there. So that's been going quite slowly. I'm also at the moment only doing this at my weekly club meet, so I only really spend maybe a couple of hours a week on this. So yeah, hence why it's gone as slowly as it has. But excuse me, there's no rush, and once I finish I shall obviously just start something else at the club. So I've got plenty to do afterwards. So yeah, again, trying to think about what paint scheme to do on this. I know it comes with a couple of choices, but again, this was, I don't think it was ever deployed either because of the constant problems they had with it. So I might do a sort of nod to the World War II tanks with olive drab, and just do a really faded out olive drab camo on it with the stars. Something, you know, something that isn't World War II, but the look of it is, with paint and decals, etc, etc. So yeah, that's just an idea at the moment. I may do that. I may change my mind completely by the time we get to the paint section. But yeah, that's really what's on the bench at the moment. I've got a lot of stuff sort of up and coming, things I want to get on with. Got some good kits to build in the coming months and years. And I have got one other exciting thing to show you, which I'll clear these off the desk and then we can have a look at that. So finally, it's new airbrush time. I've been very fortunate that I've been sent this, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but Kaale, maybe, Kaale, new airbrush. It came yesterday and I haven't even taken the cellophane off it yet, so I thought I would do that online and we can have a look at it together. So let's get in here, or throw the knife on the floor. Oh. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I came across them on Instagram. There's lots of companies on there, so I didn't think any much of it. I just liked their page, and the next thing they were getting in contact, proposing that I could do a bit of a trial on them and see what I think, share my thoughts and views. So yeah, so let's lift the lid on this box and see what we've got. So a little letter. So that's pretty good. A nice touch there, suggesting very good customer service. Oh, this is where you can find them all. Perfect. So we've got a quick start guide, essentially, you know, showing how to use this brush if you were a complete novice and had never used one before. So that's quite comprehensive. How to strip it down to clean it, reassemble it. Excellent. So under this foam we have the beast. So we've got some replacement O-rings and seals there. And there it is, very shiny. Comes with some lube, that's excellent. So I'm looking forward to using this very much so. They've flattened out this area here on either side, which is supposed to make it more comfortable and easier to grip, which I can see why that would be. Your finger rests up against there quite nicely on that flat area. Trigger's got a nice positive feel to it. Obviously that can be adjusted here. It's got this spiral here, which I don't know what that's exactly for. I will find out more when I use it. I'm sure it says something in here, but anyway, when I start using it, that might become more apparent. But it's very nicely made. You can see in there. If it wants to focus, which it doesn't. Come on. There. Get this cup out. Quite a small cup. I don't know what size that is. Again, I suspect it would tell me if I looked in the instructions. It says that it's been specifically coated in there to make it much easier to clean, stop residue building up, etc. This is a 0.2 millimeter brush, or a needle, sorry. They do it in a 0.3, and they do a various range of other different types of airbrushes depending on your, you know, what you like to work with and what level you feel you're working at. So yeah, it feels really nice in the hand. It's got nice weight. The trigger definitely is nice and smooth. It's not catching or graunchy or anything. So yeah, I'm going to be interested in trying it out. I think, and I will have to again be, I might be wrong on this, I think it is made in China. However, it's not to the, not the standard of the sort of Chinese airbrushes that you pick up on eBay, etc., the nameless ones. I mean, for a long time, that's all I used, 25 pound Chinese airbrushes, and to be honest, I got on it absolutely fine, and quite often was, you know, wondered why other brushes were, you know, 100, 200, 300 pounds. When I got a bit of money a couple of years ago, and I decided I'd get myself a better airbrush just to see how I got on with that. So I got a Pash Talon, which was around about £100. Yeah, really good airbrush. You could tell where the money had gone to, the components that were used, the quality of stuff. You could see that it was a big improvement on the £25 airbrush. And it sprayed nice, but this has a similar feel at the moment, I would say. It doesn't feel like a non-branded Chinese airbrush. It feels like something that someone has put a bit of thought into, using sort of some decent materials, you know, looking at the longevity of the airbrush, not just lasting a few, you know, a year or two, but something that if you look after it will repay you by continually working properly. So yeah, I shall pop that in the box, and in the coming week I will give it a run out, and we'll see how it does. So there's a few bits there, stuff that I've done, stuff that I'm working on, stuff that's coming in the future. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I will now start to be doing these quite regularly. I'll keep them as short as I can. I'll try and keep them as interesting as I can. I'll try to not mumble and forget words as much as I do. That's partially due to being unwell, illness, and suffering with brain fog and this sort of stuff, and my mind just won't compute, and the communication line from my brain to my mouth doesn't always work, so I'm not saying what I'm thinking, and it sounds a bit unprofessional, which sort of is not great, but I will endeavour to do well and make them interesting for you. So I hope you enjoy them, and yeah, if you're interested and you've liked what you've heard, give a like or stab the old subscribe button if you want. And otherwise, I shall catch up with you soon. Cheers.